So today I thought I'll do the Shiradi Ghat route. I've been told that the route isn't so great. I've also got a couple of interesting stops along the way. I'm on this new highway, very wide roads that just came to a close. This stretch is quite bad. Look at the manner in which that froth is almost standing erect. The tannins in that tea seep through your tongue. Looks very much like an omelette. I guess this is what the vegetarians invented when they felt they too should eat the omelette, but of course minus the eggs. So I was told that there's only a particular stretch somewhere as you approach Shiradi, about 10 or 12 kilometers, which is not very good. And this, for instance, is a brand new road, 3 lanes on either side. This is easily the worst stretch that I've encountered on this drive. Horrendous. The worst roads on this stretch. The rice feels rather lush. Perhaps some of the fat rendered into the biryani and coated the rice. Namaskara folks, welcome to a new drive vlog. You must have caught my last vlog, which is driving from Bengaluru to Mangalore via Charmadi. If you haven't caught it, I would recommend you watch it now before you proceed with this video. I'm going to link it in the description below. So this morning I've just left Kapu near Udupi. So today I thought I'll do the Shiradi Ghat route. I've been told that the route isn't so great, but I'm in a jimny, so I think the jimny should be able to handle it. And I've also heard that they plan to close it down for some repairs, etc. By the time you see this vlog, perhaps a little later, the roads may have been fixed. But I just thought I'd give you a sense of what that route is like as I drive today on the 15th of March 2025. I've also got a couple of interesting stops along the way. The first one is for a cup of coffee or tea. Let's see if you can guess this one. I'm not going to tell you which one till we get to that point. And the route that I'm taking is via Mangalore. It's about 20 odd kilometers from Mangalore to get to that place. Let me know in the comments below if you guessed the place already. I'll see you later along the drive. Well, I'm 9 minutes away from my tea and coffee destination. Have you guessed by now where I am going to be stopping for tea, coffee? I've just crossed Badwal Cross Road. I'm on this new highway. Very wide roads that just came to a close. As soon as I said wide roads, but this is a new stretch that they've built that took years in the making, but it's finally come out well.
A few moments later.
The roadwork just seems to take forever, right, in our land. I don't know what the issue is. It's not about building it, but I just think it's about maybe getting clearances and whatnot, getting people to give up the land. I'm not sure what it is, but just seems to take forever. This stretch is quite bad. This is pretty bad. I think the road work is still going to take months before it gets completed, and I don't know what this is going to be like in the next couple of months once the monsoon sets in. In fact, they're thinking that the monsoon this time will set in early. This is going to be quite treacherous to drive on. The road is wet and slushy. In the jimny itself, I'm getting so shaken around, and I wonder what the sedans must be going through in this stretch. So this is a flyover that's going to go over Kaladka. I think going to join all the way near Bantwal Crossroad. Okay, back on Terra Firma. All right, we are where we want to be at KT Hotel. Looking forward to my stop here at the KT Hotel, the famous KT Hotel, Kaladka, the Lakshmi Niwas Hotel that's been around since 1952. Namaskara, madam. Chanagidira. Always a good sign when the place is buzzing. Imagine since 1952 this place has been around. It's a tradition for people on this route to stop here for the KT, the Kaladka tea. That's what I'm looking forward to. Oh, tomato omelette. Very good. I'll try madadeva. This is what's special about the tea here. The layers that you see of the tea decoction and the milk, and of course the froth on top. I've got a detailed episode on Kaladka on the KT Hotel on Food Lovers TV, so do look it up. Look at the manner in which that froth is almost standing erect. The tannins in that tea seep through your tongue. I'm not a big fan of tea, especially as my first beverage of the day. But for the Kaladka tea, I'd make an exception. And the balance of the tea to the milk is just perfect. This is what the world stops here at Kaladka. In fact, I'd say that it is the KT, the Kaladka tea, that has actually put Kaladka on the tourist map. Such is the power of this tea. You must definitely look up that episode on Food Lovers TV. I'm going to link it below to know the history of this place that has stood the test of time for 73 years. Actually, I had a masala dosa in mind as I was driving here, but Mrs. Holda, the second generation owner's wife, told me that I should probably try the tomato omelette. This is an omelette that's minus any eggs. It's basically made of the batter, which is a combination of the gram flour, the rice flour, and also the urad dal. Looks very much like an omelette. I guess this is what the vegetarians invented when they felt they too should eat the omelette, but of course minus the eggs. Served to you with a sambar and some chutney. It's speckled with some chilies. I can see some onions in there somewhere. The texture of this dosa is entirely different. So because it's got the combination of the gram flour, the rice flour, the urad dal, the texture is quite soft. And then there's that plenty of the chili in that. And of course also the tomato. So I'm sure this dosa was invented by a creative South Canara cook who didn't want vegetarians to be deprived of the joy of eating an omelette. So it's got all the things that you put in an omelette, the onions, the tomatoes, chilies, etc. but minus the egg. It's soft, and then there's that crunch from some bits of the dosa that have crispened. Munchinda serve ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇದು? Oh really? ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು? ಮೊದಲಿಂದ 1952 ಇಂದ. ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ಆಮ್ಲೆಟ್ ತುಪ್ಪ ದೋಸೆ ಮೊದಲಿಂದ ಇದೆ. ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್. ಇದು ಉದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿದು ಕಡಿತೇವೆ ಸರ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು 25%. 50% ಕಡಲೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅದಲ್ಲ? So Mrs. Holda was telling me this 50% chickpea flour, 25%. I just tasted some ginger in that. 25% the rice and the uddu hittu, and the 25% is a combination of the tomatoes, the onion, the ginger, the chili, and things like that. I think let's now taste this with the chutney. Not that it required any more flavors. The chutney is quite talu. As I'm biting into the onion, I'm also tasting the sweetness of the onion. And that spicy hit of the chili. Definitely get this when you're here at Lakshmi Niwas Hotel here in Kaladka. So engrossed I am in this tomato omelette that I've forgotten the chai. The sambar has that fully of the tomato and also of the tamarind. And there's some of the, I think, sautekai, the mango sautekai. And perhaps some eggplant, I'm not sure. Sour, slightly spicy, not too much of the sweetness in this sambar. What I'm enjoying though is that tomato omelette just by itself. I want this breakfast to keep me sated at least for the next 2 or 3 hours. Perhaps till the time that we reach that Sakleshpur Hasan sort of belt. Well, before I leave, I had to get this, the rimjhim coffee. I'm not going to speak too much about the coffee because I want you to go and watch that video. But what you saw was the decoction, the separation between the decoction and the milk. And there's a technique in which they pour the coffee that creates this. And it's got to do with the density of the milk versus the decoction. When you ask for it with less sugar, the effect or the separation is not as visible. So therefore, always ask for regular sugar if possible. So good. Well, thought I'd also carry along some of that rimjhim coffee on the drive just to keep me alert and awake as I handle Shiradi Ghat or whatever remains of it. I don't know what state the roads are in, but I think this coffee, KT coffee, should certainly help. Well, that was a nice stop at Kaladka Hotel.
Good afternoon.
At KT Hotel. Well, that's my car wishing me. You know, I'm a big believer in the fact that everything happens for a reason. This may seem a little side conversation, but I came to the car and put my things in, and just before leaving I thought, okay, let me go and just use a restroom. And so I went back into the restaurant. When I was filming with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I dropped 2 of my camera lenses. And the lady who swept the floor found it. And I could only retrieve it because I went back to the restaurant. Had I just got into my car and driven away, well, I would have lost my those lenses. One is the polarizing lens, one is the ND filter, and the other one is the wide angle. So anyway, everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in that fact. Whatever it may be, whatever the situation is, whatever one is going through, or whatever, everything happens for a reason. You get the point. So anyways, now I'm all awake and recharged for my drive towards Bengaluru. So it's basically under 7 hours of driving. We're driving on the NH75. I'll keep you posted on the route as we drive. Flyover that you see up here is going to be amazing once it's complete. That links directly up to Bantwal Cross from somewhere further up. So I'm told this flyover, this stretch is going to open sometime in April. This stretch will be good. I'm not sure of Shiradi though. That is something we'll find out. Last 6 kilometers that we've covered from Kaladka, I think most of it has been road work, and so we're driving on this Acha road where the road work is still happening. And the advantage, of course, with the Jimny is that you can just power on. So although the roads are bad, and you've got, if you find an open stretch, you can just overtake trucks and cars and all of that. And now we're back onto the good road. So I was told that there's only a particular stretch somewhere as you approach Shiradi, about 10 or 12 kilometers, which is not very good. And this, for instance, is a brand new road, 3 lanes on either side, concrete road. I'm such a big believer in the ability of the Jimny. I know I sound like a salesperson for Jimny, and people keep asking me, they say, do you get Did you get paid by Jimny? Did you get the car free? Did you get a huge discount? No, none of that. Just that I had my heart set on this car because to me the Gypsy was a dream growing up, and then this is what the Gypsy has evolved into, the Jimny. And when I checked on the vehicle and its capabilities and how it was performing, especially in the foreign markets, I thought it was a great vehicle, and therefore I bought it, and I'm so happy that I bought it. I've just crossed 9,000 kilometers on the Jimny. I have not regretted this purchase even once. On the highway, off the highway, bad roads, no roads. Well, this vehicle has performed so well. It's about 34 kilometers since we left Kaladka and we crossed Puttur, etc. The stretch has been on and off the road. So you find some good stretches and then you are back onto roads like this that require you to maneuver with some dexterity. My camera too is shaking, that's how bad this road is. Is it this way? Okay. Based on my experience in Charmadi just a couple of days ago, I think that's definitely the better route at this point in time. A lot of the road work here in Shiradi looks like it's going to take time. Maybe certain stretches will get done sooner, but overall I think it's going to take a lot of time. And my worry is that when it starts raining in the next month or 2 months, this work is going to slow down even more. So be mindful of that when you select between Shiradi or Charmadi. I'm still coasting on this stretch at about 30-40 kilometers per hour. And that's because of the car that I'm in. I think if you're in a smaller car, you'll probably be doing this a lot slower. And I guess what route you choose, kind of vehicle that you have, would also make a difference. If it's a smaller vehicle, I would definitely recommend Charmadi, not this route. Till it gets fixed. Anyway, let's get on with the drive. Full tank aage. Some people have been asking me also about the mileage that I get on the Jimny. So when I'm doing the highway runs, flat outs, flat stretches, I get roughly around 15.1 or so. As when it's ghats and things like that, so maybe around 14. And if it's mixed sort of driving, like for example, I was driving in and around Mangalore, Udupi, and then from there up till here, I've got roughly around 13 kilometers to a litre. So we're just about 6 kilometers away from Shiradi, and I've done about roughly about 120 kilometers from Kapu thus far. So the stretch from Bantwal Crossroad, I would say from that point, Kaladka, say about 50 kilometers, that's a stretch which is a little bad. Because there's road work happening, and so certain parts the roads are very good, but certain parts the roads are extremely bad. So you're constantly going into bad roads, coming out of bad roads, etc. And that's the only thing about that particular stretch that's a bit of a challenge. Like I said, I didn't really feel too much of a strain on the Jimny, but if you're driving in a smaller car, you will feel the brunt, the pain of some of the bad roads. And I don't think it's going to be fixed in the next couple of months because, like I said, monsoons are coming up and some stretches look like they're still months away from completion. I think from now on, 6 kilometers Shiradi, I mean the ghats here aren't really super challenging. These ghats are quite tame for the most part. And so I think it should be a gentle sort of drive to Shiradi from here. So still have another 5.5 hours of driving before I hit Bengaluru. About 268 kilometers. That coffee at Kaladka has done well to refresh me completely. I was feeling a little drowsy as I was driving towards Kaladka, but now I'm like bright and alert. I'm just wondering whether I should stop for lunch somewhere. We'll see as we drive along. So we are climbing towards Shiradi. These roads have tamed the ghats on this stretch to a large extent. As you can see, the road has been cut through the mountains, and they're so broad now that it doesn't really feel too much of a ghat at all. Oh, there's a toddy shop on the ghat somewhere. I hope not too many people stop there. These ghat roads are quite nicely done. So the thing is that for an inexperienced driver, the Shiradi route is the best route because the ghats are very gentle. But you got to trade off with some of those bad stretches that you got to deal with. Beautiful, look at the mountains ahead. Wow, you can see the beauty of the Western Ghats as we climb up towards Shiradi. Hotel Karavali, toddy shop. Well, I guess that's the reason why you see many trucks parked around here. I hope the truckers are going to sleep the effect of the toddy before they get back into the driver's seat. An interesting location for a toddy shop. After the ghats or just before the ghats. These are the Shiradi Ghats. Very gentle, as you can see. Not too much of an effort at all required to drive this stretch. Not too much skill. If you're a ghat newbie, just stick to your lane. Give priority to traffic that's ascending, and especially heavy vehicles. They need a wide berth to turn, so be mindful of that. Turn right towards Kukkeshri Subramanya temple. Oh my god, that was very close. The biker came out, and I wish sometimes motorcycles were a little more mindful. We are in Gundia on NH 75. Just crossing the checkpost. When you want to overtake on the ghats, just make sure that you have a clear line of sight up ahead before you make your move. Very, very important, because you may be a pro when it comes to driving on the highway, but the ghats are a different beast altogether. All it takes is one reckless moment. Game over. Or at the very least, a certain amount of pain and hardship. My purpose is not to scare you or intimidate you, just that you got to be respecting the road and be very mindful. That's all. Rumblers that they have planted every here and there. The challenge is that because these rumblers are not painted, because of the light and shadow owing to the trees, you can't really see them. Suddenly they just come right up. Look at this one here. Difficult to sometimes make it out. Here at least there's bright sun, so you can see the dark rumblers, but otherwise it can be a challenge sometimes. I don't know why they can't paint them. There should be a rule, a law, that if you plant a speed breaker or a rumbler, you've got to paint it. And you've got to ensure that it stays painted. So every once in a year or whatever, you give it a fresh coat. In a car you're okay, but on a motorcycle Well, it could be, you could lose balance entirely when something like that just comes up. So I think we are near the top of Shiradi now, and I'm also going to perhaps look around for something to eat along the way. If I do find something interesting to eat, I'm going to probably film some of that. You've got a sense of what this route is like. So if you're driving towards Mangalore on the Shiradi route, from Shiradi all the way, it's only that 50 kilometers before Bantwal Crossroad where you have a lot of the bad road stretches, etc. So just keep that in mind. And depending on your skill level, depending on the kind of car that you're driving, choose either between the Charmadi or the Shiradi route. There is also another route which is a Sampache Ghat route, slightly longer but very scenic and very smooth. Maybe about half an hour or 1 hour longer in the car. That's also a route that you can look at, which goes via Bengaluru, Mysuru, Madikeri, Sampache, and then you enter Dakshina Kannada. Anyway, I'm going to get on the road once again. Some exhilarating driving over the last few minutes on the curves. I think we're at the top now of the ghats. The roads in the ghats, I must say, are very good. I mentioned earlier that I heard that they were going to close the Shiradi route for a bit, but I don't see any reason why they should do that because the roads are absolutely fantastic. If you have any perspective on that or if you have any knowledge on that, do share in the comments below. It'll be of help to those who are going to be taking this route. I turned off my GoPro, but I just saw a estate there called Highland Homestay. There was a steep Kacha road going down. It looked like an interesting place to drive. If any of you have stayed at that homestay, do let me know. Highland Homestay, here on the Shiradi Ghat somewhere. Also, when you're driving on the ghats, this is one place where you should not hesitate to honk, especially when you approach a blind hairpin where you don't know what's coming up, right? So always honk so that anybody coming on the other side, they know that you're just around the corner and you don't surprise each other. We are about 14 kilometers from Sakleshpur, and I'm just driven on to some road work that's happening. I'm not sure how long this goes, but just thought I'd give you a heads up. This is a rough stretch. Patch rather, not too long, thankfully. Spoken too soon. This road is what remains of the old highway while the new highway is being built on the side. Because I'm in the jimny, so I'm making light work of this, but I can imagine what it will be like when you are something else which isn't built for off-roading. You can see all the cars and the driver's face is not too happy. Alright, we've got a situation here. Oh, the bus has scraped against the truck. Oh my goodness, I'm scared to go on that. Oh boy, that is scary. I don't know if you caught that, if the GoPro caught that, but the bus and the tanker, the container, there was barely like an inch bit separating them, or perhaps a few millimeters separating them. So bad road alert on the Shiradi route. It's also that stretch from Sakleshpur going up to the mountain top. About 5 kilometers or so. This is fine for now, I don't know how long. They've been building this Sakleshpur highway for like the longest time, I don't remember. It's been years. Okay. Bad roads again. It's nice to overtake some of those quasi SUVs. I'm being a bit of a show off now, but for all the flack that I got because I picked up this car, this is my chance to get even and demonstrate what I can do with the Jimny. Go easily where no car can go. This is easily the worst stretch that I've encountered on this drive. Horrendous. The worst roads on this stretch. So I think this is something that you seriously need to reconsider, because this again looks like it's going to take some time to get done. And the more I explore, see this part, more I explore this route, it just kind of tells me that this route is certainly not the most comfortable to drive. Whew. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇದೆಯಾ ಊಟ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಹಾಂ, ಲೇಟ್ ಬಂದೆ ನಾನು ಉಡುಪಿಯಿಂದ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Decided to stop for a spot of lunch here in Sakleshpur at durgasree mess. You'll find an episode on this on Food Lovers TV as well. So as I was driving, there's a right that you take towards Bengaluru on the highway, about 3 kilometers before you hit this point. But I remembered this place, so I said it's worth that 3 to 6 kilometer detour that you take. It's a family run place where the food's cooked by the mum, served by the son. And it's the biryani that's popular here along with the khaima. Thank you. Well, it's about 3:30, so the biryani is not piping hot, but still warm and very flavorful. What's also nice is that the rice feels rather lush. Perhaps some of the fat rendered into the biryani and coated the rice. That satisfaction of getting some of that bone marrow. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
ಫಾಲೋವರ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ
ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್,
ಆ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಿಂದ
ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಊಟಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮದು ತಂದೆದು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ, ನಿಮ್ಮದು ತಾಯಿದು ಶ್ರಮ, ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಎಲ್ಲರದ್ದು ಶ್ರಮ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ.
ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡು, ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಪಬ್ಲಿಸಿಟಿ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ವಂತೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಿಂದ
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಜರ್ಮನಿಯಿಂದ? ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ದಟ್ we've done here, a lot of you have come here, so I said it's all the food that they do.
ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ.
Very nice, very nice. Super ಇದೆ. That meat is a sort. It's got a bit of a bite, but it's very flavorful, cooked very well. And the other item here is a khaima, that plump khaima. Just soak that a little with the gravy. This is what I've been thinking of even along the bad roads. Meaty flavor in that saru, the meaty broth flavor in that saru. And there's none of that graininess that you typically get with the kadle ittu. None of that. Beautiful. Also the sort that marries rather well with the biryani anna. So good. A slight peppery spice. He meets a salt that's quite soft. Not like tuppa, but get some of that sherwa if you want to moisten that rice. Makkale hegidara?
Exam start ಆಯ್ತು ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ಫೈನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್.
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬರುವಾಗ. ಸೂಪರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಮ್ಮ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್.
ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮೇಕೆ ಮಾಡೋದು.
Very nice. My only worry after eating all this rice is I shouldn't fall asleep at the wheel. I love that warmth of the pepper that's holding on to the back of my throat. I think I'm going to go easy on the rice and perhaps more on the meat. ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಈಗ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
12:30 ಇಂದ 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
3:30 to 4.
3:34. So ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ ಖಾಲಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್. ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ 7 o'clock to
9. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಇಂದ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಆ ತರ ಬಂದವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಡನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು?
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಮೇನ್ ರೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು ಕೆಲಸ. ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೆಳಕು ಹಾಕೋದಷ್ಟು, ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. All the work is theirs. I just shine a bit of light. ಮಸಾಲೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜೀರಿಗೆ ರಸಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ I can taste the cumin in that and also the tamarind.
ರಸಮು ವೈಫೈ ಕುಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾರೆ.
ಕ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಪೌಡರ್ ಇದೆ.
ಕ್ಯೂಮಿನ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಕ್ಯೂಮಿನ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಫ್ಲೇವರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಕ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಪೌಡರ್
ರೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವೇ ಪೌಡರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾ?
ಮನೇಲೆ
ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ,
ಕರಿ ಲೀವ್ಸ್, ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಗ್ಗರಣೆ
ಸೂಪರ್ ಇದೆ. So there are many dishes that you can try here when you come to Durgasree Mess in Sakleshpur. So it's off the main road, just a little detour inside is worth that effort. When you come and place that biryani or that khaima in your mouth, close with some buttermilk, some majjige. So that is Mr. Lokesh who began this.
25 years.
25 years. And of course today the legacy is carried forward by his family. Well, that was a nice happy meal at Durgasree Mess. That biryani, mutton biryani with that very flavorful, fulsome rice, and of course the khaima unde. Always a favorite here. And I quite enjoyed also interacting with the family, with Sujit, his wife, his mom. They've told me that the next time I visit, I should call them ahead and they will make me a nice fish curry at home. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, there's some people who really touch you with their sincerity and the work that they do. This family at Durgasree is one of them. Home is roughly about 245 kilometers away. I've got 4.5 hours of driving. I'll probably stop for a cup of coffee somewhere along the way. But I think this vlog has given you a fairly good sense of what the route Mangalore, Udupi to Bengaluru via Shiradi is all about. So that's it for this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed being with me on this drive. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, the Kripal Amanna Vlogs channel, my second channel, do subscribe. And the one thing that I always tell people, because every once in a while I meet people and they tell me, you know, we're not seeing too many of your videos. Well, that's because of the algorithm. Sometimes the algorithm doesn't show up the videos. So the best thing to do is to subscribe and hit the bell icon, whether you're watching Food Lovers TV or Kripal Amanna Vlogs. So that way, every time I drop a video, YouTube will certainly notify you and you'll never miss a video. So that's it for this one. Until the next time, take care, stay safe. Bye.
A few moments later.
Hi, ಕಾಫಿ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದಾ? ಹಾಂ, ಒಂದು ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಕಾಫಿ ಕೊಡಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ. ಹಾಂ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್. ಹಾಂ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಊಟ ಆಯಿತು. ಬದಿ ಕಾಫಿ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. Was bracing myself for the drive back to Bengaluru, but just saw the Osur coffee shop here. And I remember the last time I had a akki roti here and some good coffee. So I said, let me get that cup of coffee now. I've got an episode on Osur coffee as well on Food Lovers TV, so do look it up. Again, it's one of those places which is quite scenic from a stop perspective. You've got the estate. So this is part of the Osur coffee estate and they have a cafe right here. So the backdrop is the beautiful estate. It's nice to be on the road and find places like these where you can just stop, get a cup of coffee and just relax. Thank you. Some extra decoction should I need some. Most people when they have the coffee, they like it sweet. I just want a tinge of that sweetness. I don't want it to drown the bitterness of the coffee, because after all you're having coffee. But this is a great stop for a cup of coffee along the route. Good coffee. So that's it for the last time on this trip. I hope you enjoyed being with me. See you on the next one. Bye. Okay, just one thing that I missed out is the drive time. So I began today at about 10 a.m., 10:15 a.m. from Kapu. By the time I reach home, it'll be about 8:30 in the evening. So that's roughly about 10 hours. I've, stopped for lunch and then I've stopped to set up the camera a few times and things like that. So maybe the drive time for me today would have been around 8.5 hours. So that's the kind of time that it would take you, which is not so bad considering the fact that when I did the Shiradi Ghat route to Mangalore was roughly about 7.5 hours or so. And this is from Udupi, which is an hour away from Mangalore. So that's it about the drive time too. I hope you found this vlog useful. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.